call the meeting to order. I'd like to recognize that Dan Zimbrowski is here and no other members of the public. And for the this particular meeting, I will skip information about the rules of procedure and ask if there are any new additions for this evening's agenda. Okay, are we ready to approve the minutes of the May 23rd, 2016 meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Seems that we have no old business on the agenda. And I believe the rest of the meeting is Katie's. So for new business, the first item is dog warrant.
And just for any new board members who haven't gone through a dog warrant, Penny actually just gave us a little dog warrant 101. After May 31st, Penny as town clerk puts together a list of all of the dogs that are unlicensed in the town of Guilford, and it's the warrant that gets transferred to the dog officer, and it's within the dog officer's authority to destroy any dogs that aren't licensed. It has never been done that I know of in Guilford's history, just sort of a formality, and that you guys approve the warrant to then pass on to the dog officer. So
I was looking at that, I do know of one that the person does not live in Guilford anymore, so.
okay, do you maybe want to let me know?
Yeah, I'll put a check beside it when it comes over here.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we all are gonna.
So I would like to make the motion that we sign the dog warrant for the dog officer to follow the duties of her duties.
Is there a second?
Second.
We can't all fall asleep yet. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I think you're next, Katie.
I think it was the last meeting perhaps that Community Collaborative for Guilford came and asked for your support for a planning grant to the Vermont Community Development Program, I think.
I think it might have been two
Two
meetings ago.
ago?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Thank you. And so this request for proposals is for development consultant services, which is someone to author the planning grant for them, and if it's awarded, perhaps continue on as their development consultant. The town is actually the one who issues the RFP, since we receive the funding and then we pass it on to them. So it'll be a collaborative effort between the town and CC4G in terms of the selection process, with representation from the church too, so that we select the candidate that they want. And that it satisfies all the needs. While we don't have to do an RFP for this type of service per our procurement policy, the community development program requires you to procure, so that's why we're doing it. So I had sent that around. It's pretty cut and dry, and I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Do you know if the Grange, the Broadbrook House not-for-profit is going to ask for a similar kind of grant?
Because the Broadbrook Community Center?
Yeah.
They might be.
And is there any urging them to work together on this so that they're not looking for competing grants?
They're going to be going for two different purposes and two
I
different
know the
studies.
missions, they're community
Yeah,
grants.
but they're on different time tracks.
They are.
Yeah, like there will be a planning grant submission for Broadbrook Community Center on the same round as this. It'll be a different round. And so we'll have to research that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if sometimes when Guilford gets a grant, then there's not one available for another couple of years, so I don't know what the deadline, I can't remember what the
Bless you.
deadline for this is.
I want to
But-
say that they're going in for the November round.
So perhaps just a note to them to ask if they considered the implications community-wide.
Yeah,
Is the 501c3 finalized yet
for community,
for the Grange?
No. What I heard on Friday is that they have the state authorization, but not the federal yet. They're waiting to hear.
So
Yep.
they can't apply until
No,
they get.
and furthermore, they have to wait for the transfer of the property to take, I mean, there's a lot of things that need to take place. So I think timing-wise, I don't think that it's gonna really impact them, and there are other sources of funding for planning grants if there had to be, so,
So do we have a motion to approve the request for a planning grant?
or you mean the RFP as
Yeah,
well?
RFP as
It's
drafted?
an RFP for a person to draft the planning grant, right?
Correct, that's
So
exactly
it's not
what
even
it
the
is.
grant. They'd have to come back to us after the grant was drafted for our approval to
Correct.
submit the grant.
Correct, it's just
Right.
an RFP
For a
to
person to do.
services. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll move that we approve the request for RFP. Do I? Oh, we need to sign. Move that we approve the request for proposal for a consultant to draft municipal planning grant for
Actually, it's a planning grant.
a planning
Yeah, because
grant.
municipal planning grant is a different program.
Okay.
Vermont Community Development Program.
For CC4G.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
You know, what's the purpose of the grant? I was looking at the dog warrant and crossed off the name it too, but what's the purpose of the grant?
To do a feasibility analysis, so it will be to determine the, well, say that again?
It says right
What's the
there.
purpose of it?
Yeah.
It's, of the grant is for a feasibility study so that they can determine the market. They can get schematic designs and cost estimates so that they can move forward with their project.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, do we need to sign that?
No.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is
So I can
this,
circulate
is
it.
the annual staff increases memo that I think the town voted on at the town meeting. And this is, we just need to sign this and pass it if I understand correctly.
It's a standard practice that we do each year, that it gives the treasurer the authority to make the changes in the payroll system effective July 1 for the increases that were voted at town meeting. So this is Penny's memo.
And is
And the
there-
increases are always voted on at town meeting? That's when that
Well,
occurs?
they're part of the
It's-
budget.
it's- When we submit the budget to the towns, it goes out and that's figured in at that time, so it's already been approved by the towns.
Gotcha.
We just need to
Thank you.
sign it.
And we just did a straight 2% increase
Right.
across the board.
Right, thank you.
So is there a motion to approve Penny's staff increase memo?
So move.
Second, Troy, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. You wanna pass that, Gabby, and then we'll give Katie a minute to talk about summer schedule for the town administrator.
Yep, this is me, my request. In the summer, I was hoping that I could make my hours be 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon so that my kids are not left unsupervised as much. So I come in now at about 8:30 in the morning, and the office opens at 7, so it would be me getting here a half hour before the office opens and just leaving earlier in the afternoon, so
So for the summer.
just for the summer.
So until August something?
Yeah, probably.
30th.
That's good starts.
That
And,
hasn't ended yet.
I know.
and this would be with the proviso that if we needed something, you would make other arrangements, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'd
So-
still obviously be available for meetings and that sort of stuff, it's just that sort of.
Sending out emails on the weekend to us because you don't ever stop working. So, I don't know, do we need a movement or?
I just
I think
wanted
so.
you guys
Yeah,
to
no, I
support it or
appreciate
not
it.
support it, and I'm fine with either way.
I think it would be good to have a note on the door and,
Yeah.
the standard stuff, if you're gonna do that. Does anybody have any further comments about that? Okay. Thank you. So you'll just let us know when it changes in August.
Yes.
Okay. And we could now come on Thursday morning at 6:30 if we wanted to
If
so
you
warn
want.
it.
Excellent.
I'll make coffee.
No, thank you. Okay, for discussion and updates, we have the Green River Covered Bridge Project. Katie?
Sure. No, I don't really have that much new information to report, except that that small segment of road is closed. I don't know if anybody's driven out that way, but that little piece of the Y has closed, and they are starting to stage the project there. Dan's Place the electronic message boards that came from Hale Road are now being used to notify folks of the bridge closure. The bridge will close on the 20th. The detour routes should be signed this Thursday and Friday of this week. So that's where we're at, right?
Yep, that's all.
Okay,
Um,
sorry.
Yep, that's okay. And then I just had the one request about the electric signs. I think now there's one on Sweet Pond Road. Is that correct? I know there's one where I,
Right at the intersection, and then the other one's at the intersection over the,
Green
you
River.
turn on the Green River Road.
the intersection, when you say the intersection,
Heinsberg.
Heinsberg, and so you can catch,
right, and then where's the first one?
the first one's right up here.
Oh, okay,
When you go home, you'll see it.
okay.
You can't miss
Because
it.
there is a request to put it near Weatherhead Hollow Road, so if people,
You could, but you're
if
gonna
it's
be
gonna be
missing,
right here
you're
anyway.
gonna be missing the people coming off Sweet Pond if they come that way, so
Okay.
I mean, I think that's the most logical place to put it.
Okay.
Gabby, with regard to the listserv emails that you send out, somebody, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who said they wanted, I think it was a she, wants to be added. So I think I asked them to contact
They just
you.
need to email me and then I put them on.
But also, if the email gets forwarded to somebody else, could you just put a note at the bottom of yours that says, if you get this email and you want to be included in the list, would you please email me? Just put a note at the bottom of your,
Okay.
I mean, we also talked Friday night about how this information is on the website, the town's website and stuff, but just invite people to subscribe to your listserv.
Yeah, it's been pretty open and people just usually email us say like, oh, my
Yeah.
son wants to be on, add it in. So,
Okay.
but I'll specifically add that to the
It might be nice
bottom
to
of
have an
the,
invitation.
every email then.
Anything more on the bridge?
Thank you for doing that, Gabby.
Yeah, because it's clearly appreciated.
Yes, isn't it?
That's the principal and
Sure
the
it is.
secretary at the school.
Got it.
Final fiscal year 2016 RERP grant spending.
So you had a priority list of expenses, which all got taken care of. So batteries were purchased, the parts for the repeater were purchased, and with the remaining money, I coordinated with Brookfield Service to extend the service agreement for the generator for the highway department and Guilford Community Church for calendar year 2017. So that's how I spent down the last of
That's
that
great.
money to zero. So that's where we ended up.
Excellent,
So
Thank you.
nothing left in there.
Nada.
And it all got approved?
As far as I know.
Excellent. Server, Katie?
We are getting a new server this Thursday. Penny's gonna be closing the town office that day, she thought it would be the smoothest transition for them, changing it over, just not to just have the public sort of coming in and needing, service that day, and, so we're getting it installed. We're very excited, it was on the warrant, you'll see it on the warrant, so.
So we have our working meeting on Thursday morning, is that gonna interfere, are you gonna be meeting?
He comes at 9 o'clock, so I think we'll be fine.
Okay. The next item on updates is that there's the select board article for the Gazette is due July 1st, and if anybody wants to volunteer to write the article. Dick, you're not volunteering?
I'm not volunteering for anything anymore.
Let us know.
So one of the things, I spoke with Marianne Morris, the dog officer, today, and she had been asked to write an article for the Gazette about dogs, wild dogs, and she wasn't necessarily comfortable with it, so I told her we can include a section in our article that talks about it, so it's more directed towards the select board than right at her. She is interested in revising the dog ordinance. So she's starting to pull some dog ordinances to look at from other towns and see what they contain. And that might be the topic of the June 24th work session, is the dog ordinance.
So that would be
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now, okay. Third,
It's interesting to know that when the league did the dog ordinance template, that they used ours as a guide. So. But there are some changes that I was supposed to make a year ago that the legislature's made some changes, that maybe that's what she's looking at.
okay, we should probably look into that then, thank you. Katie, you have a tax sale update for us?
Just to share, because there hasn't been a meeting since the tax sale, that there ended up being 2 properties that went to tax sale. It was 312 Harris Drive and 1288 Green River Road, and there was one bidder for Harris Drive who got the property, and there were no bidders on 1288 Green River Road. So just wanted to update folks on that.
So the one bidder got the property?
After the
After
one-year
the year,
redemption
yeah.
period, yeah.
He, she. Moving right along. Mr. Zambreski, you're on for highway.
Mr.
General
Dan.
update.
Well, our bridge over on Hale Road is done.
Gorgeous too, I
I don't know if
might add.
anybody's been over to look at it.
Smooth. I
Been
came
over,
over it
looks
this
good.
morning.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was, they started on Monday they got going a little late, but by Tuesday afternoon, the bridge was in, and then we had traffic open by Wednesday at noontime, so. So it's all done, complete, and come out good, so. And we're still grading roads and chloriding, and we're finishing up down on Route 5 now, and tomorrow I'm hoping to get on the other side of the covered bridge to do some grading on the River Road, so. So that'll take probably 2 days down, between 2 and 3 days down there to doing everything, so.
He did early, I think they did.
And then we'll be coming back and then starting ditching on the main roads, like Sweet Pond, Stage Road, Heinsberg Road.
Did you say
Then hit
grading
the
on the other side of the bridge?
So,
Dan, with the concrete on the new bridge versus
Yeah.
the older construction, does it last as well or better?
Yeah, you gotta treat them. I mean, you gotta treat them every couple, 3 years. I mean, spray what they call a sealer on it. It's already been sprayed. But I was talking to Michael Friday night, and he said you gotta really spray them every other year or so, just to protect that
Seal.
concrete. Yep,
Yeah,
keep
okay.
it sealed.
It's like a fluid.
But each one of them,
It's,
each one of them sections weighed
Bridge
60,000.
maintenance and.
Well, there's a lot of steel in it.
yeah.
So they just had massive cranes come in and drop
They
it?
had
Is that
a-
what they did?
Yeah, I get the-
2017.
When you get a minute sometime, I'll show you the video
One big-
of them setting the crane in and
Attitude there.
Yeah.
doing it, so.
But I didn't even feel it.
No, it's
I mean, right now, it's like, whoop,
I didn't have to drive over.
it was unbelievable.
It's got nice sturdy guardrails on it, and it's a good bridge. So.
It is a good
And
bridge.
that's the
Well
last one on
done.
that road, so.
That's 2 feet
Wow.
wider?
No, actually, believe it or not, it's almost a foot wider, but it doesn't really
It
look.
It doesn't
It
look
doesn't,
like
yeah.
that.
It looked wider, yeah.
I know, I was like, oh, I thought this was gonna be much wider.
No, it's about a foot wider, but it don't look it for some reason, I don't know why, but.
Huge improvement. And the landowners, I know that adjacent, some of that property were
Well, I
very
mean,
pleased with
well, I
the way
made sure
Dan handled
Yeah.
some of the things, because one of the landowners came up to me and made a point of saying how great a job Dan and his crew did prior to the crew coming in to do the physical bridge.
Great,
So thank you.
Thanks.
thanks.
Oh, I made sure they kept well aware of what was going on, told them what was happening, and gave them plenty of notice, heads up, saying, well, you're gonna lose your power for a few hours in the morning, then the next day, you're gonna be losing your power again for a few hours, and so.
I think those electric signs are great too, because people from Halifax are able to figure out.
Yeah,
What was going on?
They work, as far as I'm concerned, they well worth the money that we spent for them,
Yeah.
so.
Great.
Other than that, I mean, I ain't really got much, we're just trying to get our dirt roads done. He's gonna be starting mowing roadsides here probably another week, so. That'll be from now until October.
Uh,
Anything else?
excess weight permits?
Already did that.
There's just one.
Yep.
It's
You
for-
signed it, do we,
Um,
didn't we
yep,
agree
yep.
that he just signed
Yep,
them?
yep, I just got it today, so I
Okay.
had Dan sign it.
All right,
TK Trucking out of Londonderry, Vermont, all the usual restrictions.
okay.
And my new chloride tanks will be here tomorrow. I ordered the 3,000 gallon tanks. So
Right.
they're supposed to be delivering them by 8:30 tomorrow, so. Like I said, that old one's been there since 1984 and we put a load in it a couple weeks ago, but it's getting so the bottom's bulging pretty good and I don't really trust it anymore, so.
That's where the sand pit is, they're gonna go?
Yeah, they're going back, I wanna put it down the other garage, right where the other one is, so. Other than that, everything else has been a little problem with one of the trucks. I had to take it up to Reed's up International up in Claremont. We just went and picked that up this morning.
The new one?
No, this is the 2012. One of the injectors were hanging up on it, so we had to take it up and it was, that part of it was under the warranty, so. And it had to go up on a hook.
How much was it?
I didn't even look at the warranty paperwork. I had them service the truck while I was here, so we'll get billed for the oil change and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
The warranty work, I
I was just curious
I
to
didn't
see how
even
much
look,
we made
I
on
just
the
signed the
warranty.
paper and
Mhm.
it's all gonna be billed to International, so.
Sure.
but-
Anything else on highway? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing is the warrants. And could I ask a question before we sign these? Because I see that one of the major expenses is the Wyndham County fiscal year 17 county tax, which is about $2,000 more than they said it was gonna be. Did they send any letter explaining why?
No, I mean, I think it was probably estimate versus actual.
But
You wanna look?
it's literally just a,
It doesn't actually have anything that goes with it, other than a statement of what it is.
And we don't have any choice, I know, but they had,
Yeah.
as of October of last year, estimated that it was gonna be a minimal increase of pennies and not substantial. And I think I remember the figure is someplace around $15,000 for the last fiscal year, so that's a sizable increase. I wonder if they're buying new elevators. So that was my question about that.
And the warrant does contain a handful of expenses that are FY17 expenses, just so everyone's aware when you're signing them. That we're able to pay invoices now and code them for the next fiscal year, so they'll hit the general ledger after July 1.
my turn this week?
Yeah.
Make the motion to pay the following warrants. Payroll with the week ending May 29th, 2016, in the amount of $6,183.81. Payroll for the week ending June 5th, 2016, in the amount of $7,050.42. Payroll for the week ending June 12th, 2016, in the amount of $7,680.08. Expense warrant 1622, in the amount of $57,341.74. And expense warrant number 1623 DP, in the amount of $296, for a grand total of $78,552.05, with the two big expenditures being our insurance, first quarter of FY17 insurance payment, and that was about $15,000, and also our Wyndham County tax in the amount of about $17,000.
Sorry.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. So, Katie, the next, sorry? No, just 1 second.
Yep.
The next, meeting we get the finances, the budgets and year-to-date figures will be right before the year end, right?
Yeah, but it'll be the meeting after that you'll really get year end.
It'd be your first meeting in July.
No, I understand, I just was wondering if it made sense to do one right before, or if you wanted to wait until the July
You
meeting.
mean look at them in more depth on the 27th?
No, I just didn't know if like, we didn't get it this week, so I didn't know if it made sense to wait to give us the year-end report until you
okay.
actually have it.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody wants to,
I had printed because I didn't include
yeah,
them.
I mean, I would like to do it, but,
I have them here if you want to look at them in hard copy, and I can email them.
That does include everything.
It won't, so this report includes the warrant you just signed.
Right.
Typically, when I send them to you, it doesn't include that week's warrant, because we haven't processed it
Gotcha.
on that Thursday. We process it on the day of the meeting, so
Right.
you won't have that
Right.
transfer that will have taken place. So this is what it's gonna look like on the 27th. So, but I can send it around to you guys, just so you can see it.
I would.
yeah, I'd like it too.
Yep, you bet.
Thank you.
Happy to.
Communications.
We have an email from Vermont League of Cities and Towns VERB Trust, which is the health trust. The IMED Vision Care that we have, they're expanding their services to include a hearing discount program. And the only other piece of communications that I have is VLCT news for June 2016.
Oh wait, and the week's forest.
Yes.
So the Conservation Commission's been working over the past year to revitalize and to clean up and create a new trail for the town. And it's the Weeks Memorial Forest Trail. And there's an opening and a ribbon cutting on July 2nd at 10 a.m. And then there's guided walks from 10:15 to 11:30 a.m. And, the Conservation Commission has been working sort of tirelessly to get brochures, and they've been working with the 6th graders over at the school, and they used a $500 grant from the Association of Vermont Conservation Commissions to sort of make this happen. So if you can show up on July 2nd, please come.
And there will be an announcement on the town's website, on the homepage, under announcements. All you have to do is click on it, and everything that Gabby just shared will magically appear
And there
with a photo.
may be
With a photo.
ice cream left after the ice cream social for that. There's a need for executive session?
That's just-
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So I just want to say that I'm sorry that it's not a football night, Dick, because you would be out of here well in time for.
And the Red Sox aren't even.
And the Penguins won last night,
So
so.
is there, all
Is
in
it-
favor?
Is it game 5
Aye.
of NBA?
Aye.
Is it the NBA's
Tonight,
finals
no,
tonight?
but not till 9:11. I think
Okay.
the meeting is adjourned at
58.
6:58, yeah.